Welcome back to the Metabolic Revolution podcast. I'm Dr. Steve Presciutti, founder of BioSpark Health, and today we're going to blow your mind with a concept so simple, so fundamental, that once you understand it, you'll never look at health the same way again. Before we dive in, this podcast is for educational purposes only, not medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Now, let's revolutionize how you think about your body. This is episode 2, and if you missed episode 1, go back and listen. We exposed how polyunsaturated fats, those quote-unquote heart-healthy seed oils, are literally destroying your cells. Today, we're zooming out to see the bigger picture. Because here's the truth that changes everything. Every single health problem you have is, at its core, an energy problem. I know that sounds too simple. We've been trained to think of the body as this complex machine with thousands of separate parts and problems. High blood pressure? That's a cardiovascular issue. Depression? That's a brain chemistry problem. Diabetes? That's a blood sugar thing. Weight gain? Calories in, calories out. Wrong. Dead wrong. These are all manifestations of the same underlying issue. Your cells don't have enough energy to function properly, and I'm about to prove it to you. Let me introduce you to a revolutionary thinker who saw through the medical establishment's compartmentalized nonsense, Dr. Ray Peat. He said something that should be carved in stone at every medical school. Energy and structure are interdependent at every level. A given structure makes possible a certain level of useful energy, and adequate energy makes possible the maintenance of structure and function. Listen to that again. Let it sink in. Your body's structure, from your DNA to your organs, depends on energy, and energy depends on structure. When energy fails, structure fails. When structure fails, disease appears. It's that simple and that profound. Think about your house for a moment. What happens when the power goes out? The refrigerator stops cooling, food spoils, the heater stops working, pipes might freeze, the security system fails. Everything that maintains the structure and function of your home depends on electricity. Your body is the same, except the electricity is ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the universal energy currency of life. Every single thing your body does requires ATP. Thinking this thought, digesting your breakfast, fighting off a cold, repairing damaged tissue, even sleeping properly. Yes, all of those things and more require ATP, and without adequate ATP, nothing works right. Here's where modern medicine has it backwards. They see symptoms and try to suppress them. Oh, your blood pressure is high? Here's a pill to force it down. What, your cholesterol is elevated? Here's a statin to block its production. Sorry, you're depressed? Well, here's a drug to manipulate your neurotransmitters. But the problem is that nobody asks the fundamental question, which is, why is the body doing these things in the first place? And the answer is almost always the same. Your body is compensating for an energy deficit. You see, your body is infinitely intelligent. When it doesn't have enough energy to maintain optimal function, it adapts. It prioritizes, it compensates. And those compensations, well, in modern medicine, we call them diseases. Let me give you a concrete example. Jennifer came to me with a laundry list of diagnoses: hypothyroid, fibromyalgia, depression, IBS, chronic fatigue. She was seeing 5 different specialists, was on 7 medications. But when we looked at her health problems through an energy lens, it all clicked in and made sense. Her cells were literally energy starved. Her mitochondria, the power plants in every cell, were barely functioning. So, we didn't treat her thyroid, we didn't treat her depression, we didn't treat her gut. We restored her cellular energy production. Within 3 months, every single symptom improved or resolved. Not because we're miracle workers, but because we addressed the root cause, energy. So how does energy production actually work? Let's demystify this. Inside nearly every cell in your body are these incredible structures called mitochondria. They're like tiny power plants, taking in fuel and oxygen and producing ATP, The process is called cellular respiration, and it's the most important thing happening in your body right now. When you eat food, let's say an orange, your digestive system breaks it down into glucose. That glucose enters your cells and makes its way to the mitochondria. Through an elegant series of chemical reactions, glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain, that single glucose molecule can produce up to 38 ATP molecules. It's like turning $1 into $38. That's the magic of cellular respiration. But here's what nobody talks about. This process produces more than just ATP. It produces carbon dioxide, CO2. And before you panic because you've been told CO2 is just waste, let me blow your mind again. CO2 is not waste. It's a vital metabolic product that your body desperately needs. CO2 helps oxygen release from hemoglobin into tissues. It's called the Bohr effect. Without adequate CO2, you can have plenty of oxygen in your blood, but it won't get into your cells. CO2 also dilates blood vessels, improving circulation. It stabilizes nerve function, preventing anxiety and seizures. It even helps maintain proper pH balance. Low CO2 from poor metabolism? That's when problems start. This brings us to a critical point: the balance between energy supply and demand. Your body has a certain energy requirement just to maintain basic function. Think of it as your metabolic mortgage. It must be paid every day, every hour, every minute. When energy production meets or exceeds this demand, you thrive. When it falls short, your body starts making tough choices. It's like running a business with insufficient cash flow. You start cutting corners. Maybe you delay maintenance. Perhaps you lay off staff. You might even sell assets to stay afloat. Your body does the same thing. It might lower thyroid function to reduce energy demand. It might break down muscle for fuel. It might suppress immune function. These aren't diseases. They're strategic adaptations to energy scarcity. And what triggers this energy crisis? Often, it's the very things we're told are healthy. Remember those polyunsaturated fats from episode 1? They damage mitochondrial membranes, directly impairing ATP production. Chronic cardio exercise? It can deplete energy reserves faster than you can replenish them. Calorie restriction? It signals famine, causing your body to downregulate energy production. Stress? It forces your body to waste energy on emergency responses instead of maintenance and repair. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot to take in and digest, particularly because this view of health and disease is so counter to the mainstream narrative, to what I was taught in medical school. But hang with me here for a little longer. I'm going to back all of this up with rigorous, validated science. Okay, with that said, let's next talk about free fatty acids quickly. They're another energy disruptor almost nobody mentions unless they're in the bioenergetic space. When you are stressed, not eating enough carbohydrates, or consuming too many polyunsaturated fats, free fatty acids flood your bloodstream. This is well known. But the problem is that these free fatty acids in the bloodstream interfere with glucose metabolism, creating what's called reductive stress. This just means that your cells become backed up with electrons they can't process efficiently. It's like a traffic jam in your mitochondria. The result? Less ATP, more oxidative damage, accelerated aging, all the stuff you don't want. Yet, we're told to burn fat for fuel, to become fat-adapted, etc. From a bioenergetic perspective, this is like choosing to run your car on dirty diesel instead of clean gasoline. Sure, it'll run, but at what long-term cost? Okay, quickly. I just want to mention that this is exactly why we created our Bioenergetic Reset program. We teach you how to cut through all the noise in the health and nutrition space and how to optimize your cellular energy production through targeted nutrition, strategic lifestyle changes, and metabolic support. For $133 a month, you can learn to work with your biology instead of against it. Okay, so what actually supports robust energy production then? Well, first and foremost, thyroid hormone. Your thyroid is like the master thermostat for your metabolism. It determines how many mitochondria you have, how efficiently they work, and how much ATP they produce. When thyroid function is optimal, energy production soars. When it's suppressed, which is epidemic in our polyunsaturated fat-soaked, stress-filled world, energy production comes to crawl. But here's the kicker. You can't just take thyroid hormone and fix the problem. You need to support the entire energy system. That means, number one, adequate carbohydrates. Yes, including sugar, which we'll discuss in detail next episode. Your brain alone needs 120 grams of glucose daily just to function. Deprive it, and watch your energy production plummet. Number two, it means quality proteins in moderate amounts, not the massive quantities pushed by fitness culture. Excess protein actually requires energy to process, creating metabolic stress. It also means the right fats, saturated and monounsaturated, not the polyunsaturated disasters in most health foods. And number four, it means adequate micronutrients to help support energy production. Magnesium for hundreds of enzymatic reactions, B vitamins for the Krebs cycle, copper for the electron transport chain, but not from a handful of synthetic supplements, from real food that your body recognizes and can utilize. Let me share something that will change how you evaluate your health. Instead of obsessing over cholesterol numbers or blood pressure readings, monitor your metabolic rate. Take your temperature first thing in the morning. It should be at least 97.8 degrees Fahrenheit, ideally 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit by midday. Check your pulse. Should be 75 to 85 beats per minute at rest. These simple measurements tell you more about your cellular energy production than any expensive lab test. When patients increase their metabolic rate, their cellular energy production, magic happens. Chronic pain disappears because tissues have energy to repair. Mood lifts because the brain has fuel to produce neurotransmitters. Weight normalizes because the body doesn't need to hoard energy. Hormones balance because there's sufficient energy to produce and convert them. Immunity strengthens because defensive systems are fully powered. This is why our one-on-one coaching is so transformative. We don't chase symptoms. We systematically identify and remove barriers to energy production while providing what your cells need to thrive. It's personalized bioenergetics, and the results speak for themselves. Okay, I want to address something crucial. This energy view doesn't mean you can just quote-unquote eat more calories all willy-nilly. Remember, a calorie is not a calorie when it comes to cellular energy. 100 calories of polyunsaturated fat-laden nuts will suppress your metabolism. 100 calories of ripe fruit will enhance it. The hormonal and metabolic response to food matters far more than its caloric content. This is a really important concept to get down, and I can't stress it enough. Interestingly, this also reframes how we think about exercise. Movement is essential, but chronic intense exercise that depletes energy reserves faster than you can replenish them? That's metabolic suicide. Smart exercise supports energy production. It doesn't destroy it. Okay. Before we wrap up, let me share something exciting. In addition to these solo episodes, we're releasing special conversations between my research assistants at BioSpark Health. These discussions dive even deeper into the biochemistry, explore complex cases, and answer the nuanced questions that arise in practice. They're incredibly educational. Keep an eye out for those episodes. Coming up in episode 3, we're tackling one of the most controversial topics in health, sugar. I'm going to show you why glucose is actually your body's preferred fuel, and why the anti-sugar movement is metabolically ignorant. After that, we'll explore gut health through the energy lens, then dive into salt, cholesterol, and other demonized substances that actually support energy production. Here's what I want you to remember. You are not a collection of separate systems that randomly break down. You are an integrated, energy-dependent organism. When energy is abundant, you thrive. When energy is scarce, you adapt through what we call disease. The revolution isn't in new drugs or therapies. It's in understanding this fundamental truth. Energy is everything. Support energy production, and your body knows what to do. It will repair, regenerate, and optimize itself. Not through force or restriction, but through abundance and support. This is Dr. Steve Presciutti reminding you, you didn't come here for more Band-Aids. You came for the truth. And the truth is, your fatigue, your symptoms, your struggles, they're not character flaws or bad genetics. They're energy deficits. And great news here is that energy deficits are fixable. If you're interested, let us show you how. Okay, again, everything discussed today is educational information only. Please, work with a healthcare provider who actually understands metabolism and nutrition to help you create your personalized approach. The metabolic revolution continues. Your cells are waiting for the energy they deserve. Let's give it to them.